Hey Wolfpack, are you ready for sweat-free climbs, 140 millimeters of bump-eating suspension, and all-day battery life? If so, Liv's new Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite just might be the bike for you. Given that Liv is a brand that aims to empower all women, from beginners to pros, it seems fitting that they've developed a trail-focused e-bike just for women. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite is one of Liv's latest designs and is intended to power through technical climbs, thrive in the harsh descents, and push a rider's performance to new levels as they make quick work of the trails. I received my Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite test bike after my Sturdy Dirty enduro race, and I was immediately grateful to experience my home trails on an e-bike. The test bike saw all sorts of conditions: dry kitty litter at Beacon, chilly slush at Canfield, and late season primo dirt. I took it for a pre-ride of the infamous Eastoberfest enduro race and grew more comfortable with getting increased airtime as the season wore on. The Intrigue E+ series uses a giant Sync Drive Pro 2 drive unit powered by Yamaha to deliver torque of up to 85 Newton meters to the rear wheel at a weight of 2.7 kilograms. Liv ventured to go the extra mile and co-developed the first e-bike specific battery cell in an effort to reduce overall weight without sacrificing power. The 400 watt-hour energy pack weighs in at 5 pounds or 2.3 kilograms. This new battery has 22,700 cells that are both high density and high discharge. The system has 6 sensors built in to detect the rider's input and adjust the level of assistance in Smart Assist mode, maximizing your range. Battery capacity can be extended with a 200 watt-hour Energy Pack Plus range extender. The battery uses an Energy Pack 4 amp charger, with 60% charge being achieved in about 1 hour and 45 minutes. The integrated battery management system prevents overheating, increases battery life, and optimizes charging performance. Liv added the updated Ride Control Ergo 3 drive system. The Ergo 3 uses 3 simple buttons to power down, power up, and activate walk assist. The Ride Control Go console system is embedded in the top tube and uses 2 rows of LED lights to indicate battery life and power mode. Additional tuning capabilities are available in the Ride Control app, letting riders customize their support ratio, torque, and acceleration settings. Liv uses their advanced carbon fiber composite technology in all their bikes labeled advanced, allowing them to achieve a high stiffness to weight ratio with their high performance grade carbon fiber. On all models, the front triangle is constructed as one cohesive piece out of advanced grade composite. The 1 and 2 builds feature carbon fiber rear triangle and upper rocker of the Maestro suspension system, while the 3 build has Liv's Alex SL grade rear triangle and its linkage is advanced forged composite. All models use a flip chip in the upper rocker link to customize geometry, with high and low positions to choose from. This frame is only offered in mixed wheel configuration to allow for nimble maneuvering on the trail. Another feature on Liv's one model is Giant's Contact SLR trail handlebar crafted fully out of carbon. The lightweight handlebar is an integrated one-piece bar and stem combination that still allows a rider to adjust the stem length and back sweep. The Maestro suspension system on the Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite delivers 140 millimeters of travel to the rear wheel paired with a 150 millimeter fork. Using 4 pivot points combined with 2 links, Maestro creates one single floating pivot point that counteracts the pedaling forces to help prevent squatting and bobbing. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite Liv combines the Maestro suspension with Fox's Live Valve suspension damping control system to ensure maximum performance and opportunity for rider programmed preferences. Liv offers the Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite in sizes extra small to large, accommodating riders from 5 foot to 5'11". Reach numbers range across the sizes, with a 419 millimeter reach on the extra small frame in the low position to 466 millimeters reach on the large. The size small I tested sported a 434 millimeter reach in the low position, paired with a 606 millimeter stack height, a longer than expected 447 millimeter chainstay length, and a 1,188 millimeter wheelbase. The head tube angle on the size small varies depending on the flip chip position selected, the steeper end being 66.5 degrees and as slack as 65.7. The seat tube angle varies from 77.2 degrees to a steep 78 degrees in the high flip chip position. Liv delivers a wide variety of sizing options for riders to choose from depending upon their sizing preferences. It's recommended that a rider pay a close attention to the preferred geometry when diving into the sizing chart. This geo lends to an e-bike that is as comfortable on the climb as it is aggressive on the way down. Like Giant, Liv offers only specific builds with no customization or frame-only options. They do give you a choice of 3 different models: an entry-level 3 at $6,000, a mid-spec 2 for $7,200, and the high-end build 1 topping out at $10,000. Many specs remain the same between all models, including the advanced grade composite front triangle, the motor, display, battery, grips, saddle, and the tires. Liv's highest end build kit was the model that we had to test. Equipped with a 150mm Fox 36 Performance Elite up front and 140mm Float X in the rear, SRAM's wireless GX access with a 10x52 tooth 12-speed cassette, Code R brakes, Praxis Performance carbon cranks, a 125mm Trans-X dropper, and Giant's in-house TRX2 wheelset and hubs. The One is the only model that features Fox's live valve and Giant's Contact SLR trail integrated handlebars and stem. One major flaw I found in the part spec on this build was the tire casing for both the front DHF and rear dissector. All models came with only EXO casing. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite is an e-bike that not only can handle the extra weight, but almost certainly warrants the protection of at least EXO Plus while barging down the trail. Initial setup followed Fox's live valve tuning guide. At 130 pounds, I was running 160 psi in the rear and 68 psi up front. Compression was 8 from open on the shock and 7 from open on the fork. Both the shock and fork were run with stock volume reducers. Setup also included connecting Live Valve's control module to an app on my iPhone, where I could select different modes and sensitivities, as well as pairing Giant's Ride Control app. I'd guess that most people that are buying e-bikes are likely grateful for the intense technology integrations, or at the least indifferent to the electronics. I personally still live in the dark ages, and when given one too many apps or buttons, my brain short circuits. I just like to ride my bike with as little tweaks as possible. I'm a simple woman. And with that, no adjustments were made to the one-piece bar and stem setup, as I felt quite comfortable with it out of the box. The flip chip mostly stayed in the low position to feel more aggressive, and I rode the stock tires until I couldn't anymore due to punctures. I do want to note that I've been pretty consistently in the medium range on Liv's bikes, but at 5'4", I'm on the cusp between a small and a medium. I opted to size down to a small in an effort for better handling and to be able to muscle the extra weight of the e-bike around. I did feel slightly cramped with the reduced reach, but had lots of fun on jumps and still had room to maintain aggressiveness on the more technical trails. Even with a loaded set of electronics, the Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite presented as tidy and sleek. Live valve control unit is discreetly placed and almost flush within the top tube. The simple LED display on the top tube was particularly helpful for me when I needed to chance a quick glance on the downhill to power up or down. My smaller hands had to be a little flexible, but still managed to use the Ride Control Ergo 3 controls on the grip fairly easily. The day-to-day operation and maintenance of the e-bike was simple. If a dinosaur like me can manage, you can too. I did notice that the Sync Drive Pro motor was especially sensitive, so when I came to rest on the trail with my foot on the pedal, I experienced frequent surges of power, rocking me forward a bit. But it was a small, annoying sacrifice to make for the natural feel when climbing on the trail. Liv delivered on the balanced geometry for this trail-focused e-bike. I felt comfortable on a variety of climbs, including technical rock gardens, steep and loose access roads, and the average uphill trail. The mixed wheel made it easier to maneuver in tricky sections, and the head tube angle was steep enough to swing around tight corners on the steep climbs. The Smart Assist was incredibly helpful when ascending at a lower RPM, but it did feel like my horse was galloping away from me when starting from a stop on these climbs. Live Valve was useful if you took the time to switch settings in the app. Climb mode provided more traction and a firm platform for pedaling, but I often found myself in sport or comfort mode as I didn't experience any negative side effects on the climbs, and I could set and forget it without massive regret on the downhill. Liv's Sylvia saddle has been a solid match for my body and is one of the components designed specifically for women. Never underestimate a good saddle, ladies. This bike allowed me to session trail features significantly more than I could on my pedal bike, transforming me into a better rider over the course of the season. I used to shy away from some of my local technical XC or uphill trails, but the Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite powered me through them, and after getting the feel for it on the e-bike, I've been able to replicate it on my pedal bike. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite was meant to do it all, except bike park. Sorry. The head tube wasn't so steep that I couldn't push the bike on the downhill and clobber the occasional tricky rock roll. The bike was truly enjoyable whether I was climbing, sprinting, or descending. I had fun transitioning from the uphill tech sections straight into slow, precise rock features and out into the open and fast areas on the cross-country trails. Its stable and planted feel allowed me to advance my jumping skills, and I could easily lap the skills park without breaking a sweat. On my home mountains of Beacon and Canfield, the 140mm travel was just right, and the rear wheel made cornering effortless. I used the Intrigue to practice for an enduro race that included an overwhelming amount of tech, both downhill and uphill, and some fast and loose sections. I never hesitated to take this e-bike down any of the trails as it felt perfectly capable. To me, this e-bike felt playful without having the usual twitchiness that accompanies that description. This may have been partially due to the one-piece bar and stem combo, or perhaps the well-rounded geometry. I'm not particularly a fan of the decision to spec Code R brakes over Code RSCs, especially with such a high-ticket bike price. It was a learning curve trying to adjust to different braking points, which was partially due to being on a heavier bike. But with the Code Rs, I had to apply more pressure to the levers and still didn't feel a strong initial bite. On longer or steep descents, the increased pressure required to engage the brakes caused some serious arm fatigue. While on the human-powered Intrigue LT Advanced Pro Zero, I felt like either Live Valve or Liv's Maestro suspension system was causing a hang-up in the rear that made consecutive hits feel like hitting a wall. But I didn't experience this at all on the Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite 1. Overall, I felt like the Maestro system soaked up the impacts on the trail and recovered quickly. There was plenty of support when needed for pumping, but also suppleness when navigating braking bumps and rock gardens. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite is a sleek, playful, confidence-building machine. Named Airglow, the paint is another win for Liv's designers. While Live Valve adds an extra component to manage, it blends in well with the other electronics and gives riders more customization. I wish Liv had provided more wheel protection in the form of a thicker tire casing, given weight may not be as big a hindrance on the e-bike. The one-piece bar and stem is lightweight and may have reduced fatigue, but a future replacement seems like a spendy headache, and this area of the bike sees a lot of rider personalization, which has been limited here. I want so badly to have a frame-only option from Liv, as their geometry has meshed well with me, but alas, they have not changed their ways. The Intrigue X Advanced E+ Elite is an extremely capable, lightweight-ish, all-around e-bike. For a price tag of $10,000, it isn't the most expensive e-bike on the market, yet it could have been packaged a little differently. Pedaling is easy breezy on the mellow flow trails, or you can put the hammer down to hit big jumps or cruise through the technical rock gardens, but you'll feel comfortable in both environments. Whether you've been looking to enter the mountain bike world via the soft push of a motor, or you've slowly warmed up to the thought of joining the e-bike club, this bike is a perfect contender for conquering a variety of trails. Thanks for tuning in, Wolfpack. If you have any questions I didn't cover, please drop them in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so, as this helps us continue to bring you the latest and greatest in the mountain biking world. Until next time, see you out on the trails.